Carrie, our birthdays are coming up this month. I remember you telling me that you were never once intimate with a boy or man, even before you decided you were bisexual. I also remember you telling me you once had a dream of you making love with your first boyfriend Patrick. So I was wondering, if you had the opportunity, would you have sex with a man now?
I never thought you would ask me about such a thing. My loyalty to you is such that I would sooner die than do anything to ever hurt you, including cheat on you. Losing your love would destroy me and make me look terrible in the eyes of our son Richard and others who know both of us.
Well, I can tell you right now that even if you decided to hook up with a man, I wouldn't reject you. You didn't end your friendship with me when I began dating Laura Park, who was once our enemy. And because of that, we eventually got back together as a couple. So, would you like me to arrange for you to sleep with a man?
Well, it would have to be with someone I feel a connection to. I can't just go to bed with some random dude.
I understand. Let me find someone for you. Then maybe you can finally have that experience you missed out on.
If you say so.
A few nights later, Debbie has taken Carrie to a motel room. Nervously, Carrie waits there.
I don't really understand why Debbie is having me do this. Jason, did Debbie send you here?
Yes. She said I could offer myself to you, but... Yeah, and I really don't have to do this if you think it's wrong. If you tell me to leave now, I will go.
It's okay. If Debbie trusts you, then I will too. And knowing how your wife died, if anyone deserves to be comforted after such a loss, it's you.
And so the two proceed to undress and go to bed together. And they are both happy.
Thank you, Jason. But I can tell you needed this far more than I did.
Perhaps. But I am happy to do something to make us both feel loved. You deserve this too. Good night, Carrie. The Cultbusters have their monthly meeting at the home of the Menlo couple.
Good afternoon, and welcome all of you to this, the July 2063 meeting of the Cultbusters. As president of the Cultbusters, I, Barry Menlo, will proceed with roll call. Joyce Menlo?
Here.
Matthew Jesse?
Here.
Fatima Jesse?
Here.
Helen Sims?
Here.
So all the members of the Cultbusters in Chicago are present and accounted for. Let us proceed with the agenda.
One of the biggest problems we face, me as a non-religious Jew who came from Israel, and Fatima as an Arabic Muslim, is seeing repeatedly representatives of our former religions and our nationalities totally debase both Judaism and Islam, making them expressions of the ugliest forms of nationalism. Jews often talk about how terrible anti-Semitism in the distant past was, including the Holocaust of World War II. And then they proceed to engage in their own bigoted acts against the Palestinians, stealing their land and killing them off. People who see Israel doing things like that then wonder, what if the anti-Semites were right and the Jews really are evil and must be defeated?
And likewise, Muslims often complain about anti-Islamic discrimination in Western societies, but in Muslim states, people who leave Islam are persecuted, especially if they become atheists like me. The constant hypocrisy of people of most religions is what finally convinced both of us to believe in no religion at all. If you don't base your morals on religion, you don't discriminate against those of a different faith, or no faith at all.
I get that. But what about the communist states of the 20th century who often tried to enforce atheist views on the people? That's also wrong, isn't it?
Of course it is. I guess they were also bigots. Rejecting religion is not enough. We must affirm the rights of all human beings to live freely, whether religious or not. I remember as a child being taught about how Mormons were persecuted and even how the prophet Joseph Smith was martyred. And then I learned about how perverted and two-faced he really was. He made up the idea of polygamy being a good thing among Mormons as a means to reduce women, and even teenage girls, to sexual slavery. Religions and their leaders that violate human rights or look the other way when such violations happen in their communities must be fought against. You can't claim rights for yourself while violating them against others, ever.
As a black person, I was taught that the Watchtower cult I belonged to opposed prejudice against minorities like me. And then I learned from Helen about how they rejected LGBT people like her Aunt Lucy Sims. Lucy being black didn't matter if they hated her sexuality. And since I didn't choose to be straight, I realized it was absurd to call homosexuality sinful, for LGBT people didn't choose that. Just as I didn't choose my skin color.
They say that same-sex attraction is not a choice, but acting on the attraction is.
Sex is supposed to be the ultimate expression of love between two people, and the condemnation of homosexuality makes both gays and straights all about sex and not love. You can't force a different sexuality on people of the wrong orientation. That's what is unhealthy, not homosexuality itself.
I remember falling in love with the older guy who got me pregnant. I had sex with him because I loved him, but I only later learned he felt differently. His being straight didn't make him better than a gay man who truly loves his partner for life.
Exactly, Helen.
Oh, there they are. Thank you for bringing Polly. That was so kind of you.
You gave her life and I gave her a home, so as far as I am concerned, we are both her mothers. Polly, are you ready to spend the weekend with Helen?
Yes, Mama Sarah. I promise, I will be a good girl with Mama Helen.
One day at the town's high school.
Jen, how close are you to your brother now? You two seem to have been drifting apart ever since you left the special education class. We get along quite well. He and I have merely chosen different paths. Why? My parents just got divorced and my father wants nothing to do with me. He calls me a failure and a disappointment because my IQ is subnormal. He said, "You couldn't have gotten your inferior brain from me. You and your mother are both idiots." That ripped my heart out. I'm sorry. My parents are the polar opposite of your father. They accept both me and Mac just as we are. Anyway, I am thinking of asking Mac to make a baby with me so I can have a better purpose in life than constantly struggling with schoolwork. That would only make your life harder, Anna. Though I admit that if we lived in my original time, you could certainly start having babies now and that wouldn't be a problem. I've got it. Maybe we could use your father's time machine to return to your original time. Then I could meet with your original parents and live like they did.
Later that day, at the Smith-Wilson mansion.
So that's the situation, Mac. She actually wants to be a cave dweller. Like we and our original parents were about 100,000 years ago.
I don't think she understands how hard that life was for us. Even Papa Gerlach and Mama Kellabong sent us away because they thought we'd be better off in the future. Though I admit there have been challenges in this time too. Let me talk with Anna about this. Maybe she's just upset over her parents' divorce and she wants to get away from that. Father James, what should I do? Anna and I have to make some tough decisions about our future.
These are decisions only you and Anna can make. Your mother Penny and I supported you joining the high school football team. And we would support you becoming an auto mechanic like Eric Sterling. And we would even support you choosing to return to your original time. There's nothing wrong with any of those choices. You do what you think is right, Mac.
I was actually hoping you would say something different. Now I have to talk with Anna. Anna, were you really serious about wanting to live as a cave dweller?
Yes. I like the idea of living a simple life. No schoolwork. No worrying about money. Just learning to hunt and gather food every day. But I wouldn't go alone. If I go, I'd like you to go with me.
I'm sure that together we could make a life back then.
Or I could insist on staying in this time and you stay too. But you would be unhappy and probably break up with me.
No, I haven't thought of dumping you. I just think I'd want to be together with you in either time.
You sure you want to be my mate? Well, I know your mother likes me, but how would she feel about never seeing you again?
She has 2 sons she can be proud of. She doesn't need me around. She has already told me I can leave the house and move in with you as soon as I reach adulthood. And my 18th birthday is a week from now.
And so a week later, at the Tuscany Tavern. Happy birthday, darling. Mrs. Richardo?
Honey, you know I will miss you. Are you sure about this?
Yes. Mac and I have talked about this, and we are totally committed to each other, no matter where or when we end up. So this will be goodbye.
And so the next day, Jen, Mac, and Anna joined James in his rebuilt robot at his time machine. I've already said goodbye to Mother Penny, so let's go.
Very well. Activating the time travel device.
Wah! And so 100,000 years in the past. Yes, this is indeed my and Jen's original time and place. Now we just need to meet my original parents. And so when they arrive at Gerlach and Pelabong's cave.
Jen and Mac, I and your mama were never expecting to see you again.
Well, here I am. And unlike Jen, I am here to stay. This is my mate, Anna. She wants to be a cave dweller like you, so we have come back so you and Mama can teach her everything you know.
We could certainly use some help around this cave, for at least a few months. Welcome to the family, Anna.
Flo, Jen and Mac's sister, enters the cave. She is now 3 years old.
Papa and Mama, who are all these people? Are we in trouble?
No, Flo, these are friends. And 2 of them are your brother Mac and sister Jen, and 1 is your brother's mate, Anna. Mac and Anna will be staying with us.
And that evening, just outside the time machine, I want to thank you and Penny for everything you have done for me. I will never forget you.
Good luck, son. Even now, I am proud of you for what you are doing.
Goodbye, my beautiful sister-in-law. I know you will accomplish great things in the 21st century. Thanks.
And so James, Jen, and the robot leave in the time machine. Wah!
I'm actually grateful you decided to return. And even to bring a mate with you. Your mama was so happy to see Anna.
Yeah. I just have to get used to this life again. I'm only doing this for Anna's sake. She is my love, Papa. Just as Mama is yours. Mac and his love partner, Anna, have joined with Mac's original parents, Gerlach and Pelabong, and his little sister, Flo in the Stone Age.
Mac, before I joined with your mother, I was named Gro and she was called Pel. It was my mate's father who renamed me Gerlach and renamed her Pelabong. Now I will do the same for you and Anna. After today, you will be known as Makalam, son of Gerlach. And you, Anna, will be known as Analam, mate of Makalam. Welcome to my tribe.
Thank you, Gerlach. I am your loyal servant, as well as that of Makalam.
To Makalam's surprise, Analam quickly adapts well to life as a cave dweller. And within a few months.
Mac, I have wonderful news. I am pregnant. In a few months, we will be parents. And you two will be grandparents.
Awesome. We are happy for you, of course. But you know what this means? You will need to find another cave to raise your children in. This cave is too small for 6 people.
Remember the bear we encountered that almost killed Flo? I always worried he might threaten us again. But maybe we can kill it and take its cave for Mac and Anna to live in.
Yes!
You already stuck a spear in that bear, so why not finish it off? Let's all go after it.
Over the next couple of days, Gerlach and Makalam make dozens of spears intended to kill the bear. Then they, Pelabong, and Alam, and Flo go to confront the bear.
There's the cave that bear is living in. So are you ready?
Yes! I know in my past I never enjoyed hunting, but I will be more than happy to kill this bear who almost killed my sister. Let's get him. But as the cave dwellers approach the bear's cave... Alright, you monster. Your ass is ours.
All of you, strike together so the bear will die quickly.
And together the 4 grown family members stab the bear with their many spears.
This is for my daughter, you coward.
And even Flo throws a couple of rocks at the bear as it dies at the hands of her parents, brother, and brother's mate.
Good riddance.
But as the family examines the bear's corpse, they then discover at the back of the cave.
Oh my. That bear wasn't just threatening us. It was a mother trying to protect its cub. Oh, it's so cute.
Maybe it is, but when it grows up, it may pose a threat to us, just as its mother did. So it must die too.
Oh no. I can't look.
That's just the ugly reality of life, Analam. Sometimes we must do things we hate to prevent even worse things from happening later.
That night, the 5 cave dwellers cook and eat bear meat together. And the next morning...
This cave is now yours and Analam's. I, your mother and sister will return to our own cave to the south. If you ever need help from us, you may come and ask.
Likewise, if you ever need help from us, you may let us know. Until next time, goodbye, Papa Gerlach.
I can't believe your brother just abandoned his life here to return to the Stone Age. It's what Anna wanted, and Mac loved her, so he went with her for her sake. I will always remember him, but I have my own life to live in this time. James. I know letting Mac return to his original time was the right thing to do. But I feel like we have lost another son.
It must have been 10 times harder for Mac to give up everything he had here to start a new life with Anna. But when you truly love someone, making sacrifices is part of that. And think of how happy Gerlach and Pelabong must have been to have their son returned to them. The outcome is not perfect, but it never would have been. And we just have to work with the situation we were in and the choices that were made.
Of course.
And that concludes my sermon. Always remember that the love that Jesus commanded for your enemies was about respecting their humanity, not allowing them to continue hurting you if they could. I wish to say how sorry I am for the loss of your mother. I knew her, Aisha, from the time she married your father, Scott.
Thank you. You should know that the day after our mother died, both of us agreed to ditch our hijabs and renounce our Muslim upbringing. We have both left Islam.
And what made you decide to do that? And how did your father react? We learned that we had an older sister we never met, Dinah, who was killed in an earthquake before either of us were born. She was only a baby. We decided that if Allah couldn't prevent her death, he might as well not exist.
And as for our father, we simply reminded him that he made the same choice we made when he was our age by leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. And he accepted our decision.
And he admitted to us that he only became Muslim because he was in love with our mother and also to escape his own mother. What goes around comes around. Well, at least your father is no hypocrite. In any case, I wish you the best, my cousins.
Thank you, Vicky. We are thankful that Unitarian Universalists like you accepted us as Muslims, and so we are proud to associate with you as we transition to atheism.
One day, Carrie gets a letter from her cousin Scott. It has been several months since the wife of Scott, Aisha, died of cancer. Dear Carrie, I know it has been years since we last had contact. As you know, Aisha died and my two surviving daughters have both decided to leave Islam and become atheists like you and Debbie are. And I can't really blame them. In addition to my wife dying, they found out about their older sister, who also died tragically before they were born. They felt that if Allah would let a baby die in an earthquake, he wasn't worthy of their worship. It's ironic that the very faith Aisha and I clung to so we could get through that tragedy is being rejected by my daughters because of that same event. I don't really understand their feelings, but at least I think I understand how my mother must have felt when I told her I was no longer a Jehovah's Witness. I wanted my mother to continue to love me as her son, but instead she put her loyalty to her cult above me. Just like she and my grandmother did when they rejected my Aunt Lucy. I won't repeat that mistake. Even as a Muslim, I will not reject my daughters. Only Allah should judge them. Carrie wrote back a reply.
Scott, I remember what you were like as a Jehovah's Witness, and I think you became a much better person after you left that cult. Even as a Muslim, you were a better man than you had been before. Maybe your daughters think they can be better outside Islam. As the saying goes, one man's meat is another man's poison. Just keep in mind that there is no certain reason to believe in any sort of God, let alone believe in Islam. But if I were to scorn and reject you because of Islam, how could I complain about the people of that town who used to scorn and reject Debbie and I for being atheist? Even in the Quran, does it not say, "Unto you your religion and unto me my religion"? As long as we all respect each other as human beings, what we believe or do not believe shouldn't matter so much. May Allah, if He exists, bless you forever. With love, Carrie.
Hello?
Debbie, what are you and Carrie doing this summer?
We haven't made any specific plans yet. Why?
Well, I already told you about Mac's decision to return to the Stone Age with his girlfriend Anna. But that has left his sister here alone. At the same time, she has a relationship with another girl, Melissa, but Melissa is not yet out to her own parents, so that limits what Jen and Melissa can do together. I'm wondering if you and Carrie would like to take Jen and Melissa with you on a vacation where they can be free to be themselves.
Let me ask. Carrie, did you hear?
Yes. We could perhaps borrow James's time machine and use it to travel to some other place in time. It would be a lot cheaper than taking a flight or a cruise overseas. Hand me that phone. So can we borrow your time machine?
Do you know how to pilot it?
No.
Then you will have to take either me or my robot with you.
Are you sure that robot will work properly? Wasn't it destroyed in that explosion?
Yes, but I repaired it. Just come here and you can take both the time machine and the robot.
See you in a few weeks.
So what place and time shall we go to, Debbie Smith?
Good question. We didn't think to bring any costumes to wear so we could fit into places centuries ago. So, what do the rest of you want to do? We could perhaps take another trip to the Stone Age and visit my original parents, Brother Mac and Anna. I just want to make sure they are all right. And if Mac and Anna are unhappy with their lives as cave dwellers, we could offer them a chance to return with us to the 21st century.
I agree with Jen. Let's go back 100,000 years.
Jen, do your original parents know you are lesbian? If not, how would they react if we told them? The issue of my sexuality never really came up. Indeed, in the Stone Age, we didn't even have the vocabulary for issues of sexual orientation or gender identity. So let's not mention those things to Papa and Mama, okay?
The coordinates are set for the time trip and the time travel device is fully charged.
Then proceed.
Then we begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engaging. We have arrived at the Stone Age, 100,000 years in the past, and in northern Italy.
The same location the USS Sandy went to 5 years ago.
Now let's go to Grolic and Pelabong's cave.
And about an hour later, they actually find the cave dwellers while they are out hunting and gathering. Jen, you have returned yet again.
Yes, Papa. As much as I enjoy living in the future, I still miss you and Mama sometimes. So we returned to see how you were doing. So where are Mac and Anna?
They now live in their own cave just to the north of here. And they are expecting our first grandchild.
Awesome. When did you last see them?
About 7 months ago. Anna may have already given birth by now.
Jen, are you going to stay with us this time, just as Mac did? Flo, I would only do that if I thought my life here was better than where I have been living. Mac and I may be brother and sister, but we are also separate people and we must make our own choices.
I agree. Grolic and I belong here and have no wish to be anywhere else.
Several hours later, the visitors from the 21st century find the cave Mac and Anna now live in.
Mac, my brother.
How have you been? And I see you brought Melissa too.
Yes. We wanted to take a vacation together where we wouldn't have to deal with her nosy and bigoted parents.
Well, you and she are certainly welcome here.
You look like you're about to pop. When is the baby due? We have about a month or so to go. And yes, this baby will be big. My mother told me that I was myself a big baby when I was born. And I was delivered via cesarean. Maybe you should have thought about that before you went back to this time. What if you can't give birth normally? You could die. Melissa, don't talk like that. That is so rude. Mac, come walk with me. Sorry about Melissa. She's not exactly the most tactful person. But she does have a point. I remember you repeatedly telling us you wanted to be an auto mechanic. Then suddenly you give that up and say you want to live in our original time? Just because of Anna. Are you sure you made the right decision? Because if you're not sure, I can offer you and Anna a way out.
It's true that I went back in time for Anna's sake. Sure, I've had doubts about that choice, but every time I look at Anna, I see how happy she is here. And she was never happy in the 21st century. Mainly because she was treated like a retard by her peers and even by her father. By contrast, Papa and Mama always treated her with the utmost respect, even when she was not yet used to life here. Mama and Anna became best friends, and Anna also bonded with Flo. It's like Anna was born in the wrong time, and only here has she found her rightful family in life.
And I am the polar opposite of Anna. I was born in this time, but I know I belong in the 21st century. But I miss you sometimes. I remember when we had so much fun together. Going back to the year 1990. Going to the planet Mars. Attending school together and even watching you play football. Those were good times.
Yes. We were kids then. But now I have adult responsibilities. That's why I can't be with you again, Jen. But I will remember you.
My own mother Jessica had to deliver me via cesarean. Maybe you could be taken to the 21st century to have your baby and then return to here?
Yeah, and then I might be tempted to stay in that time. Only to be reminded of why I wanted to leave. The conflict is unthinkable. No, my mind is made up. I belong here, so I will stay.
You want to do something with me to try to induce labor a little early?
What do you have in mind, Mac?
The thing that got you pregnant to begin with. Strip for me, baby.
Our firstborn son. What shall we call him, Mac?
Let us name him James, after the one who was once known as my father in the future.
So what do we do now?
We can just return to the present and then the four of us hang out in Dallas. But Melissa, sooner or later you need to come clean to your parents about your sexuality. If you don't, your relationship with Jen may not last much longer. She deserves more respect than that. My parents are my problem. Let me deal with them my way. I don't like the sound of that. It seems dishonest.
And in 2063, Richard and Diana actually won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for their discovery of how to cure genetic disorders. Thus they became world famous for both space exploration and for medical techniques to save or improve millions of lives around the world. The following year, Richard and Diana experienced an even more incredible blessing. Suzanne Hudson repaid the couple for saving her life by volunteering to be a surrogate mother for a baby that would be raised by the couple, thus enabling them to be parents. And so in August of 2064, Suzanne gave birth to a baby girl, Sandy Maria Sims Hudson. She was named after two of her great-grandmothers, Sandy Smith and Maria Hudson. In the year 2065, Debbie and Carrie are throwing a party at their home in Dallas.
So you, Carrie, and James just left him behind in the distant past to die all alone? Wow. You don't think he deserved that? Of course he did. I just didn't think you would do that sort of thing. Not on my own, but Carrie talked me into it. And it actually does feel good to get cold, hard revenge on an enemy sometimes.
Even when Jen and Mac were both living with us, there was absolutely none of that stupid. Why can't you be like me? Or why can't you be like your brilliant sister? Bullshit.
So you and Penny agreed from the start to let Mac develop at his own pace and make his own choices. That's commendable. If we weren't going to let those teens be true to themselves, we never should have taken them from their original parents in time. I just hope Mac and Anna are doing well in the Stone Age. Going through a pregnancy has made me appreciate all the more what my own mother went through twice with my brothers. I wish she was still alive so I could thank her again for all she did for us.
You can still make an example of yourself for others just as your mother did. And to think at one time I could have lost Diana forever. I'm just glad I reached out to her and won her back to me.
You were always the best person she could have been with, and I'd like to think that was due to how we raised you, Richard. And it seems fatherhood suits you wonderfully too.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't need to be a mother, but now finally having a daughter of my own has opened my heart more than I ever imagined it would. Richard and I are truly blessed beyond description now.
Nobel Prize winners and loving parents. What more could one ask for? Sometimes just being alive and being able to make a difference is its own reward. I am certainly proud of my own achievements too, even if they don't make me famous.
Congratulations on graduating from high school with honors, Jen. Considering your background, it is amazing how brilliant you turned out to be. Well, now that I am an adult, it is time for me to spread my wings and find my proper place in this world. What I find strange is that Father James and Mother Penny have never told me what I should be. I would have expected them to demand that I follow in Penny's footsteps as a cook at the Tuscany Tavern. But I don't enjoy cooking. I feel like I want to be a scientist like your son Richard instead. Indeed, he and his wife Diana are two of the most famous scientists in the world now. They both have moved with their daughter to Los Angeles and taken over the biotech research lab once led by Diana's grandfather Daniel Hudson, and Richard is also a professor at UCLA. I don't think I will ever be as successful as them, however. You shouldn't compare yourself with others, Jen. As long as you do something useful with your life, that's what matters. As long as I do something useful with my life, Aunt Debbie said. And the way she talks about her son Richard. It seems the greatest thing she ever did was having him. Maybe I should have a baby too. But as a lesbian, I can't get pregnant from another girl. And I don't even have a love partner ever since Melissa moved to Ohio and left me behind. Because she put her ambitions to be a professional sports player ahead of her relationship with me and refused to come out to her parents too. How unfair to me.
Hello, lady. Could you spare a few dollars? I am homeless and need money to eat a proper meal.
Sure, I could give you some money. How long have you been homeless?
About a year. Ever since my parents kicked me out of their home for being gay.
Seriously?
Thanks for the pizza, Jen. I hope I can come here often to be with you. I just couldn't be seen in public with you yet. Why not? My parents are completely different from yours. They are Catholics, and very conservative. I haven't told them I am lesbian. I don't want to risk them finding out as long as I am living with them. You are not out about your sexuality? How sad. I can't imagine having to keep such a basic part of my life bottled up like that. I plan to move out of my parents' home in another 2 years, after I turn 18. I will come out then. Can you wait until then for our relationship to be made public? Please? All right. Just know that you are accepted here. As long as you treat me right, you're fine with us.
It's so disturbing that even today, in the year 2070, there are still families that are so bigoted they would reject their gay or lesbian children. My parents are the opposite of yours. They totally accepted my being lesbian from the start. In fact, I even have an aunt who is also lesbian.
I wish I could live with people like that.
I know. I currently live in my own small apartment and have a part-time job as a model here in Dallas. So I will make you an offer. You come stay with me and I will help you get a job to make your own money and help support my household. There is a gay and lesbian bar near here that needs a new bouncer. And I will want only one thing in return.
Name it.
I want to have a baby by next year. Would you help me?
All right, I will help you. As long as we have an open relationship, with me being free to date other men. I'm still gay, remember?
Of course. My name is Jen Smith. What is yours?
My name is Tobias Smith.
So we already have the same last name? This seems like an omen. No need for us to get married, then. I will take you next week to introduce you to my parents and you can tell them all about yourself. I hope you turn out to be a good guy.
I will do my best for you. I can tell you are a loving and sweet lady. I like you.
Let's go to my place and then make plans for the future.
Could Jen be making a huge mistake? Time will tell. In the year 2081, Jennifer Smith, once known as Jen, daughter of Grolic, now pays a final visit to her dying adoptive father, James.
Father James, I am so sorry. I feel like I have totally failed you.
Fail me? How? Sure, it would be great if you found a cure for this virus that is killing me, but even if you don't, you will not be a disappointment.
Your father and I have always been proud of you. Why should it be any different now? Because I was never able to give you any grandchildren, even after many attempts. I learned that I am actually infertile. My fallopian tubes and uterus are too messed up for a pregnancy to happen. Jennifer, come here. Your father and I would never dismiss you for not having kids of your own. When you truly love your children, that love is pure, and that means you don't have to give us a grandchild for us to love you just as you are. Even now, we treasure you for the beautiful and smart lady you have always been. You are not a failure at all. Thank you. I was so afraid of having to someday admit the truth to you. When James and I were younger, I was obsessed with having a large family, and that desire tested my loyalty to James, because he was content with only one child. But eventually, I learned to be happy with what I had. A mother is a mother, whether of one child or 10. Or whether the children are born to you, or adopted. Maybe you could adopt. Maybe.
But until then I will remain focused on caring for you and Father James in his last days. What am I going to do? I have no children, and not even a love partner. Who could that be?
Penny called and told me and Debbie of your situation. Do you still want to have a baby of your own?
Yes. But I am infertile because of defective fallopian tubes.
Well, I had a pelvic examination by a gynecologist last month and she stated my own reproductive system is perfectly normal. Of course, I am well past menopause, but I am willing to transplant my tubes and uterus into you so you can have kids naturally.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. I have never wanted to get pregnant, but I see no reason to deny you something you clearly want. And it would certainly give you and your mother Penny something to look forward to even after James dies.
Yes, it would. And thank you. You truly are an amazing lady, Carrie. I will contact Tobias and tell him of your offer. Maybe this time we can finally succeed in having a child.
And to make a long story short, Jennifer did receive Carrie's uterus in tubes and did get pregnant after being injected with Tobias' sperm again. And eventually, the twins, both girls, were named Pel and Flo, in reference to Jennifer's original mother Pelabong and Jen's sister, both of whom lived 100,000 years ago. And even though James died almost a year before these twins were born, Jennifer and Penny were happy with the result. Love had prevailed once more.